This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here with another edition of Meltdown. As you have just heard, so excited to be here with you on this terrific Tuesday, and am really thankful for everybody being fired up in the chat already, as we are set to deliver to you another jam-packed, entertaining episode of The Meltdown. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. If you love movie discussion, television, pop culture, music, general poker talk, that's coming up here shortly. Make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss when we go live here on The Meltdown. As mentioned, once again, I'm Tim Melton here in the Culver studio. Joining me is a cast of characters, including E.G. E.G.
Yes.
We are officially through with season 13 of the Primetime Poker Club. I did not win the championship. You did not win the championship.
No.
But we fought valiantly till the very end. Somehow, though, our shared nemesis, Jim Dunaway, ended up walking away with the title. How did this happen? How did we allow this to happen?
Well, Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13. This was season 13. We
Mm.
should have seen the handwriting on the wall before we even got into this venture.
I don't know if you've had that one in your back pocket all
No.
year long, but like that's perfect. If you have been holding it back, maybe you haven't. That's great.
Thank you. But yeah,
Charles, that makes sense. Long live.
long
Dunaway.
live. It's kind of painful, truthfully. He was dead to rights a dozen times this week and last week. No one could extinguish him.
I would even say a baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen.
13.
13. Ah,
Um,
so good.
Spud, who is a cherished member of Meltdonia, had the season locked up last night.
Run me through this.
So Spud, all he had to do was sit there and not play any cards, and he wins the season championship. Jim goes out relatively early. Damien goes out relatively early. Spud has a massive amount of chips, and all he has to do is just sit there, and he's got to make it to the top three, and we're in the final six. So all he's got to do is make it 3 more spots, and that's it. And he can literally just fold his cards every time, and he will be declared season championship. Jim has already given him a goodbye. He said he went for the hug, but like Spud didn't stand up, so he just rubbed his shoulders.
Weird.
Well, that's the story.
That might have been like the bad juju he expelled onto him.
Maybe so. But Spud gets pocket kings, and he falls in love with these pocket kings.
Cowboys.
Problem is, when you get pocket kings, there's only really one card you don't want to see come out.
Ace.
That's it. That's pretty much it.
You're dodging 4 cards.
You don't really want to see the board pair, but you definitely
Yeah,
don't
that's
want to
true.
see like an ace out there at all.
Any kind. Like, much less 3.
Right. So Spud's got pocket kings. He bets pretty big. He gets called. The flop comes out. It's ace, ace, 7.
That's brutal.
There's 2 aces out there, not just one. If there was one ace, that's already should be scary. 2 aces?
Get
I'm
out.
sorry. I know a lot of people are like, well, if there's 2 aces out there, it's less likely that your opponent's holding one. No.
But if you're betting, depending on what they're betting, if they're calling.
Yeah. If they do have an ace, you're dead to rights.
Yeah.
So they get to the turn, Spud then shoves all in, right? And that's a mistake. You just don't do that in that situation. Holding pocket kings with 2 aces on the board, knowing that your opponent has more chips than you when the season is on the line.
Yeah.
Well, he gets snap called, and the river comes out, it's a king, and people may be going like, oh, Spud got a full house. He did. The problem is his opponent that called
Had a better.
had ace king.
Mm.
So what happens? Better full house, and Spud eliminated Jim Dunaway, your champion, even though Jim was not even there to
By
realize what was
proxy.
happening. So it was a crazy poker hand. Like, it's one of those poker hands that if it happens in a movie, people go, that's such a movie poker. There's no way that happens in an actual, like
Guys.
only James Bond would that happen to. That wouldn't happen in real life. Well, it happened, and it was crazy, and our congratulations
Well,
to Jim Dunaway. Our condolences to Spud.
Speaking of crazy hands, pocket aces have fallen to horrible things in our poker club the last couple of weeks.
They have. They've been
Just brutalized.
rough. Yeah.
Pocket 4s and pocket 9s have beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
And it's great. Weren't you holding the pocket
was hol-
9s?
No, that
Oh,
was Spud. Spud
that's
had
Spud.
Pocket Nines,
Okay,
and
got it.
then 9 comes out.
Anyway, the season is done. We will take a little bit of a hiatus, and then we will get back to things this summer. But your best season to date,
Yeah,
and
for
you've
sure.
shown tremendous growth year over year. And I'm very excited to see what you could potentially do in season 14, unless you're sticking with what you threaten every single week, which is an early
Well,
retirement.
it's not every single week. It's been the last 3 weeks.
Okay,
That's not every
I
single
rest
week.
my case, Your Honor. Anyway,
How many weeks is the season? 13?
I know, but the past 3 weeks you've toyed
Yes,
with.
I have.
You're gonna
Because I've
just
had
retire.
just brutal, just terrible things
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
No, I'm not retiring. I It's one of those things that the better you get at poker, the more you realize how bad you are, kind of. Like, like the more that you learn, you're like, man.
The more you realize how little control you have.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And so, I want to improve. I'm considering this my off season, gonna train and be back. I will be playing at the casino May 31st, so book it.
We got to talk about that.
We have to really
We
debrief
really
this.
got to. We really
Yeah,
got to do that.
yeah.
Just not right now.
Okay.
So I have an important breaking news alert,
Oh my
and this one concerns Tyler,
Okay.
because Tyler, you put together trash all the time, and I feel like this is trash worthy.
Oh
All
gosh,
right.
okay.
Are you ready?
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, everybody ready? Here in the state of Alabama right now, we have a kangaroo on the loose.
No way.
That's absolutely trash worthy.
Thank
I'm
you.
pretty sure I've had a loose kangaroo in trash before.
Yeah, you did. You gave me that when everyone was out, the loose kangaroo.
Oh, I sure did. You're right.
So we live in the state of Alabama. We work in the state of Alabama. We breathe in the state of Alabama most of the time. Now, you're in Georgia a lot,
I am.
but here in Alabama, we don't typically deal with a bunch of loose kangaroos. That's not something that is really making a lot of headlines. Well, we've got a loose kangaroo in the area of I-85, seen near mile marker 46 in Macon County,
Where's
which is
where's that?
southeast, a little bit southeast of Jefferson County.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit
Okay.
southeast of where we are.
I
Okay.
was thinking, like, when you said I-85 and then Macon County, I was thinking like, is it in like near Georgia?
It would be on the way to Georgia.
Okay.
I passed through it on my way home.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see the kangaroo today.
Maybe.
Yeah. So this is near Montgomery County, and it's 2 counties over from getting to the Georgia state line.
Okay.
So
Get all the way down there.
I don't know, but this is the really rough part. The
Hop
animal,
pretty fast.
the kangaroo's been involved in a single vehicle crash. So why is that funny, Eugene? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It sounds like the headline is saying that kangaroos can drive, and that's not the case.
No, that's not what I'm reporting here.
I know.
That's not
Did the kangaroo get hit by the car?
well, what do you think happened?
Or did it jump out and it caused him
I
to
think
swerve?
it jumped out and it caused
But has the kangaroo been harmed?
I don't think the kangaroo has been harmed. It's continuing to hop around. But this is a real story happening right now, people. We need to take this
Is
seriously.
the person
And a
that
driving kangaroo definitely is trash worthy.
is the person I mean the wording of that is hilarious.
I'm a
The
news
kangaroo
professional.
was involved in a single
Yes, a kangaroo was involved in a single vehicle crash, but thankfully,
Jeff says he bounced off a car pretty hard in the video he saw.
so there's a
There's a
video of
video?
this?
Apparently so. I'll
no.
have to pull it for tomorrow.
makes me
Oh, I
sad.
just saw it.
No, that makes me sad.
Oh, it goes right up on the windshield.
Oh no.
It's a yellow car.
Oh.
Oh, this is crazy. Oh, and then it goes in front of a truck. Thankfully, the video cut off. I don't know what's going on here, but
Hopefully
This
the
is-
kangaroo's okay.
Yeah.
this is the latest I have from my sources. Troopers with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Highway Patrol Division, they're currently on scene investigating the crash as well as searching for the kangaroo. And when I get additional information, I will pass it along. But this is
Thank you,
happening
Sam.
right now.
I-
There's a wild kangaroo on the loose.
Okay, so when I looked it up, first headline: kangaroo involved in 2-vehicle crash on Interstate
Come
85
on.
in Alabama.
Come on.
That time, it really does sound like the
It-
kangaroo was driving,
It does.
because it's not a single vehicle crash, you
Not
know.
a single it's just
Guys, lives are at risk, and y'all are, just having a
is
good
it-
hee-haw
is
moment.
the yellow car okay?
The yellow car looks to be okay. There's no injuries reported. But
Perfect.
this is like very rarely do we have live breaking trash. That's what this is,
We
Tyler. I
do.
mean, this is like trash 101.
Did it say if that the car had a little Joey?
Did not.
It didn't? Okay.
Did not say that.
I mean, this is crazy. This is part of history. This is a historic moment. We are living trash in
We
real
are
time.
right now. Okay, so if anybody in the chat sees anything about the kangaroo on the loose, I'm very interested in this story. I want the latest updates. I don't know why we don't have a chopper above, like monitoring this.
We could arrange that
We can. We have the resources to do that.
potentially.
I don't think the Shelby County Commissioner is going to be able to fly
But I do.
his private helicopter
I mean,
over.
I do feel like resources should be extended towards this case.
Okay. Well, y'all keep me posted if you see anything because we got a lot of things to talk about here.
We do have a little bit of a extra detail in the chat from Samuel.
Okay, what you got?
He says, fun fact, kangaroos can't walk backwards. It's on the Australian coat of arms because they're always moving forward.
Oh, that's
And then
inspirational.
Hunter Bussey says, according to my sources, the local police have hopped on the scene.
Can I just get one other person to take this seriously? I mean, one other person. Kangaroos are vicious creatures.
I'm here.
Like,
What is going to be the situation because they are vicious creatures when they corner said kangaroo?
vicious creatures.
Vicious creatures, Tim.
That's much better. What is going to be the situation? Because
Yeah, like how they corral the kangaroo once
I'm
they find
worried.
him.
I'm worried for everyone involved.
Me too.
I'm hoping this does not have a tragic ending.
Me too. Hopefully, Mr. Rue survives this because there might be some internal bleeding taking place after being hit by a yellow car.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be really intense.
Those are, you know, my three favorite Pauls: Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Rue Paul.
RuPaul's Drag Show?
Those three. Well, I've named this kangaroo Rue Paul.
RuPaul.
And I don't know why.
Mr. Rue.
What are we doing?
No.
Let's do this.
Samuel also says, need a Kangaroo Jack DVD pull. I used to love that movie. Have
We've
you
done
guys
that
ever
one.
seen Kangaroo Jack?
I have.
Have we gotten Kangaroo Jack?
Yeah, we
before?
I
have.
feel like we have.
Mm.
Anthony Anderson and Jerry O'Connell,
Mm,
Christopher Walken.
sounds
Closet.
right. This show's gone off the rails, and I regret having brought up this breaking news story, actually. But if the kangaroo is taken into custody, we will let you know. But what else do you call it, EG? That's what it's called.
They're not gonna. No, it's gonna be the kangaroo's been rescued and will be transported to the nearest habitat.
Did you hear me say that law enforcement officials are searching for this animal? They're not. They're.
Charging with.
Also, is it a rescue if he's already out in the wild?
It's not
Yeah.
a. I don't think it's a rescue. I don't.
Yeah.
They're trying
that's
to
what I'm saying.
rescue. Yes, it's the animal rescue mission. Kangaroos aren't native to Alabama.
They're trying to take the animal and put it into captivity. So
Yeah, which he probably grew up in captivity, and he's probably unfit, Mr. Rue, to live in the wild.
Well, you don't know that.
My
He could have
client
hopped over here from Australia.
you're being very kangarooed about this.
hopped over from Australia.
Yes.
Does this kangaroo walk on water?
Possibly. Potential.
Potential. Okay.
Samuel, this is how Planet of the Apes started. I agree. I'm glad someone is finally taking this seriously because we can't just have, we got enough things to worry about here in the state of Alabama already. Okay? We don't need a bunch of kangaroos out there throwing fisticuffs.
That is true.
And that's what I'm seeing out on the streets.
That would be a risk. They
Yeah.
are the only other species, other than humans, that like to box for fun.
I know. Like, it's all fun and games until you're squared up with a kangaroo and you realize, like, there ain't no outback nearby. You know what I mean?
They're aggressive towards animals too, small animals. If you have like a little
Yeah.
baby dog.
This is a big
Oh,
deal.
yeah. You guys ever see the video of that one dog owner that pops the kangaroo in the mouth to rescue his dog?
Mm.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is insane. So we'll keep up to the date with that. But we would, if you happen to be in Macon County and you have eyes on the situation, please write in and let us know what's going on, as we would love to hear from you. Okay, let's talk a little movie news. We had two trailers, really three trailers dropped today, but two that I really want to talk about. And both of these I'm looking very forward to. One I knew about back in December that I was just all in on. And one I've been made aware of over the past few weeks. So let's go ahead and start with the one that's been on my radar the longest, and that is The Smashing Machine, which is a biopic coming up. Now, I think a lot of people, Tyler, they hear that you like biopic. Is it strictly music biopics? Because I think I've heard you actually say bad music biopics are kind of like your junk food.
Oh yeah.
But like you like regular biopics too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. There's a movie here in the Smashing Machine. For those that don't know, it stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now you may be thinking to yourself, oh, okay, well, him and Kevin Hart, what are they up to now?
My thoughts exactly.
Right. That's not this situation. This situation is The Rock has done a lot of commercial things. Okay. Most recently, he was like the bodyguard for Santa Claus in Red One. No, most recently, he was in Moana 2.
Mm.
Well, actually,
No, Red One came out.
You're right.
After.
Red One came out after, but
Trust me, I was there opening day.
Did Red One come out after?
Believe so.
I thought it came out.
Moana was a Thanksgiving release.
I know, but I think Red One actually did it not come out a little bit before because it was trying to get ahead of the Christmas season?
November 15th. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Moana 2 was the last thing we saw him in, but still, both of those things very commercialized, very much like checking a box. What we expect from The Rock.
And one of them is just unwatchable.
That would be Red One.
Yeah.
Moana 2 is just very generic. Red One is something I never want to lay eyes on. Anyway, The Smashing Machine is a movie I'm actually looking forward to because it's like sort of I think the most dramatic role that I've seen The Rock do is a movie called Gridiron Gang.
Yes.
Sports movie.
Very dark.
It's dark, and it was one of his early movies where he was trying to prove like he belongs in this business as a serious actor. And we haven't really seen him get back to that. And now we're going to get that with The Smashing Machine. The Rock is a tough actor to take seriously because of his physique and because of his persona. And he comes from the world of WWE, but still, like Dave Bautista's done some serious stuff and he's been taken seriously. And he's got a physique that's very abnormal for just your average common guy. So why can't The Rock do that too? And he's set out to prove that he can with this movie about a MMA fighter who struggles with pain pill addiction and who seems to be trying to figure out how to actually make money doing the thing that he's best at. And this has Emily Blunt in it as well. She looks like she's about to deliver a powerhouse performance in this. We saw the trailer. Our trailer reaction is out there on the channel after the live show today. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. It really helps us. Like, people always ask, what can we do to help? One thing is leave comments in the comment section, either after live shows or there on our trailer reactions, movie reviews. Like, conversate with us in the comments, and that gets a conversation started for sure. And we try to make an effort to respond to all of those. So, yeah, head on over and check that out when the live show's done. But I love the trailer. It's set to an Elvis Presley song, and it's just from the same guy that did Uncut Gems, and you just feel the tenseness. You feel it boiling up, and I think The Rock, from what I can tell, is going to deliver a powerhouse performance in this and prove a lot of people wrong. What do you think?
It looks like he's totally lost himself in this role, and he's ready to deliver that kind of performance. Benny Safdie is known for making very anxiety-inducing, tense stories. So this is just set up for The Rock to actually be finally taken seriously. Because you're right, we haven't seen that in 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Gridiron Gang, you could argue Walking Tall to some extent, but you've also got Johnny Knoxville in that movie. So it's hard to take anything seriously at that point.
Is Sean William Scott in that movie? I may be wrong. I probably am wrong. I think it is just Johnny
You're thinking
Knoxville.
of I think you might be thinking of The
The
Rundown.
Rundown. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But since then he's just known as like this family and action movie star, and you just know the movie's going to be schlocky when you step into it. And this is finally a good opportunity for him to lose himself in a role and show that he can not just be an entertainer, but a true actor and storyteller.
Yeah. And he's reached heights that no one expected him to ever reach, and he doesn't get enough credit for reaching those heights. And he needs to prove that he can still deliver the goods when it comes to those dramatic chops, and this is going to give him that vehicle to do so. So we will see as he's in this transformative role. as Mark Kerr and starts working his way through mixed martial arts, through UFC and Pride. And I wonder if UFC fans will go watch this. I don't know if they will. I don't know if this has a built-in audience to it. That's the only thing that I think may hold it back commercially. It's going to be a tough watch, and it's not going to have a built-in audience ready to go flock to this like typical Dwayne The Rock Johnson fare.
Yeah, the UFC has changed so much since the time that this movie is portraying. So I'm not sure if modern day UFC fans will be that into it. I think people who remember the old UFC when you had people like Gary Goodridge walking in with a full gi versus somebody in boxing shorts, and you just look at it and you go, "There's no regulation behind any of this, is there?" The people who grew up on that, who were buying the old Ultimate Knockouts DVDs, they'll be super into this because it looks like it captures that time period very well, but it's not a commercialized time.
Yeah.
This was the underground time for the UFC when it was not considered a sport, when John McCain was trying to get it banned because he equated it to human cockfighting. So it's a very different time than the Conor McGregor
Yeah.
era.
That's a tough thing to say. Conor McGregor era. Say that 10 times fast. Don't actually. That's really tough. From Conor McGregor to Zach Kreger.
Oh,
Now that's a transition.
yeah, there you go.
Weapons. I've been trying to sort of let you guys know this is gonna be a movie that's gonna hit. This movie's gonna hit. I've got all the stock. I'm holding it.
Tell me more.
It's right in my pouch, right in my Kanga pouch. I don't know what I'm doing. I will say that Weapons is a horror movie, EG, so you're already out.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not. But I trust your opinion on this.
So it's about a small town
Okay.
where at 2:17 in the morning, all these kids
Spooky.
from one classroom
Go missing.
go missing.
Wait.
They all go missing.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Keep going.
So the parents in town are like, whoa, what is going on here? We have all these missing kids. They all happen to be in the same classroom, and we need to hold somebody accountable. So it seems like the backlash falls on the teacher who does not go missing. And it looks like it's a little bit of mob mentality with a little bit of what's really going on here. Where did these kids go and what's happening? And it's got some very eerie imagery and some very stern like dialogue of tenseness, and
Interesting.
it looks like it could be very good. Now, Zach Kreger did Barbarian, a movie I love. It came out in 2022. Great horror movie. And that movie almost never saw the light of day, but it was able to get distributed and was something that if you've seen it, it left an impression on you. It definitely left an impression on me. I love the first 20 minutes of Barbarian. I think it's a perfect movie. First 20 minutes, it's perfect. It's absolutely pitch perfect. Has you on the edge of your seat. And he's he's a great premise filmmaker, storyteller.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna get you very intrigued,
I'm
and I'm gonna
intrigued.
like people want to know, okay, well, what's the deal here? And the more and more this story gets out there, and the more the trailer gets out there, the more people are gonna be like, well, now I gotta know how this ends.
Yeah. I want to know how it ends. Tell me once that happens.
Right. And that's gonna get people in the theater.
Absolutely. And I think it's the kind of trailer that, like you said, just gets you more intrigued about the movie because it doesn't really spoil anything or show anything. Like, you see a bunch of crazy, disturbing stuff, and then that little girl voiceover goes, and that was just the beginning of the story. And it's like, oh, okay. So I guess there's a lot more. And this trailer gives you so little to work with story wise, which I love. But if you want a little blurb about the movie, it is a multi-related plot, sort of interrelated plot story marked by the disappearance of school kids in the middle of the night, police corruption, generational trauma, witchcraft, blood rituals, and
Mhm.
religious abuse in a small Florida community.
Heck no. I'm out.
Well,
We already knew
Yeah,
that.
we already knew
We
that.
already knew it, but
spoiler alert.
yeah. Sorry.
You're out, EG. We kind of had that figured out from the get, but yeah, no, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
What's it called?
Yeah.
It's called Weapons.
Weapons.
The only thing I don't love so far is the title of the movie,
It doesn't.
It-
I
yeah.
agreed.
because everyone goes, "Well, how does weapons have anything to do with anything? What's going on?" I'm like,
That was not. I was not envisioning that description with that title.
but I'll tell you, we've sung the praises of this movie a ton, but Sinners, one thing it doesn't get enough credit for is a perfect title. It's got a perfect title.
Yeah.
Sinners is just, I'm shocked. Maybe there has been. Has there not been another movie called Sinners at some point?
There has
to
been.
have-
Okay, there has to have been.
Yeah.
Like, how many? I mean, do you know? I'm curious because I don't know of any other movies named Sinners.
When
there has to
I
have been.
was on Letterboxd to add this, I typed in Sinners, and I think there was a like a 1996 movie called Sinners.
Ooh, weapons look scary.
Weapons
Yeah,
does
it
look
is
scary.
very scary.
Okay, I just got a news alert on my phone.
Okay.
A kangaroo loose on an Alabama interstate? We see a little bit of everything, sheriff says. This is what AL.com and Carol Robinson. Carol Robinson, by the way, the best at AL.com. She's reporting on this. A kangaroo that. Can I talk about the kangaroo here? Is that okay?
I don't know. Let's save it for trash.
Okay.
Well,
No, I'm definitely doing it here. A kangaroo that apparently escaped a petting zoo in one Alabama county ended up on an interstate in another county, causing a wreck. Macon County Sheriff Andre Brunson said he received a call from his dispatcher late this morning telling him there was a kangaroo on I-85. He said, "I didn't believe it. It was actually a darn kangaroo." That's how they
a darn
quoted him.
kangaroo.
A darn kangaroo.
Oh my gosh.
That's how you know you're dealing with a kangaroo here in Alabama.
Amen. Darn kangaroo.
A darn
So
kangaroo.
petting zoo situation.
Yep. It said, "You know what? I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, he said, I'm hitting the road. I don't blame him.
Done dealing with those kids."
Oh, yeah. I know the petting zoo
You're
down there.
familiar?
Yeah, I'm familiar
Oh.
with that petting zoo. I know some people who have visited, and they said some of the kangaroos look pretty sad because
That's
there's
horrible.
not a whole lot of room there.
Maybe.
So maybe this opens up a little investigation into that place.
Hopefully.
We get those kangaroos
Justice.
proper treatment.
Yeah.
They shut down a stretch of roadway on I-85 between Auburn and Tuskegee while they were working to capture the kangaroo. It looks like they do have the kangaroo in
Good.
Custody.
custody.
Good. We got him.
There you go. Anyway, there's tons of quotes. Such good stuff. Check out Trash at another time, but lots of good stuff there. But it's good to know that the kangaroo has been brought to justice. Okay. Anything with the chat here, Tyler? I know that they're absolutely intoxicated by the kangaroo.
Let's see. It looks like a good thriller, according to Hunter Bussey, about weapons. And I don't know if my computer's not working or if the chat's just not
I don't think
as
I can.
active as it was a few minutes ago. But I don't have any more messages.
I don't think I can say what Hunter Bussey said last there, but he's going to leave that in the chat. So
I saw that as well, and I decided not to mention it. But
smart idea.
yeah.
Hey, Lionsgate has also released the first official trailer for Now You See Me, Now You Don't. This is the third movie in the Magician Heist series. I don't remember if I ever saw the second one. I think I did.
They go to like Hong Kong, I think.
When was the last time? I mean, like, I think I did, but that came out what?
Like 2014.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Long time ago.
So I thought for some reason I wasn't caught up, but I think I am. And
2016.
still,
2013 was the first movie. 2016 for Now You See Me 2.
is anybody clamoring for this? I don't know. I watched the trailer. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I enjoy the first two movies. First movie a lot more so. Glad to see we got Isla Fisher back in the cast for this third one. Also glad to see they're finally doing the joke for the title. And yeah, Woody Harrelson looks fun. It looks like a fun time. These are not they want to be smart movies. They're not very smart movies, but they're a fun time.
It's like Ocean's 11 type energy.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of Ocean's 11 type energy. Um, there's a scene in the first movie where Jesse Eisenberg's character says, "You always got to be the smartest guy in the room," and that's kind of how this film sees itself.
Yeah.
It sees itself as the smartest guy in the room, even when everyone can see that it's not. But still a lot of fun. But when it gets pretentious, it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise, but the fact that they're making a third one, good for them. Like getting this past the finish line. Because this shouldn't be something that occurs in 2025. We shouldn't be getting a 2014 movie in 2025, but here we are, and they're getting paid. And, I don't know how well this one's going to perform. I would be selling stock on this, but I'm sure there's some audience that's clamoring for this that wants the nostalgia hit of like, hey, remember when we went to go see Now You See Me movies? And now they get the opportunity to do that again. So it's not really for me.
I mean, I guess it is tapping into that nostalgia of, hey, remember when things didn't always seem crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like things were crazy then. I feel like it's just gotten crazier every year.
Yeah,
I
probably.
got kangaroos on the loose. Back to the Future, screenwriter Bob Gale has made it clear there will never be any follow-ups to the 1985 classic, saying, I mean, it's like they know in every interview people say, oh, Bob, when is there going to be a Back to the Future 4? Never. When is there going to be a prequel? Never. When is there going to be a spinoff? Never. It's just fine the way it is. It's not perfect, but as Bob Zemeckis used to say, it's perfect enough. I want to see more Back to the Future stuff. I do. I'm sorry.
You want to like make sure it doesn't die out by getting more generations involved.
Correct. I'm not saying you have to undo any of the greatness of the original, but I think that
That's always what they say right before they do exactly that, and they build on the world in just the most unsatisfying ways.
it could be fun. You're very protective over IP you love.
I think Back to the Future is too long as it is. Third movie should not have existed. That is two movies to me.
Look, what they did with Creed, okay? If Creed does not happen, we never get Sinners. Just point that out. Like Creed is the blueprint for how you make something like this work.
I agree.
So why can't we have a television series or a movie called DeLorean, which is a spinoff, where you have the DeLorean as the thing that it doesn't have to connect necessarily to the original characters, just has to be the plot device that gets us new Back to the Future tales. I feel like it could work.
No.
It could be good.
I mean, could it work? Yes. In the way you are describing it, that would work for a story. Do I want to see it? No.
Okay.
Don't care. I do not care to see one single shot of this, and
There's
don't think it should be done.
there's one review that I'm anticipating the most from Tyler Lionel Johns. Goonies 2. Because I think you're going to go in with the mindset, regardless of the marketing, that you're going to be angry about this movie because it should not exist and it's only going to, you know, bastardize the original and all that stuff. And I want to know your honest opinion about whether or not Goonies 2, which has some great people working on it. I mean, Spielberg's a part of it, getting it back on the screen. Corey Feldman may or may not make an appearance.
As much as I like Corey Feldman in Goonies 1, I'm cool if he doesn't show up in Goonies 2, because he's a bit of an oddball these days.
Yeah. But like, will the Goonies fan base support Goonies 2 when it comes out? Because you're a part of that fan base, and I really want to genuinely know that answer. Like, will it be good enough to be warranted as like, okay, that was a fantastic sequel?
Um, I mean, it's gonna have to have the right energy and also feel like an earnest attempt at continuing the story instead of a cash grab. Like, take Happy Gilmore 2, for example. Everything we've seen from that movie just looks abysmal. It looks like a blatant cash grab. Hey, remember this? Hey, remember? Hey, hey, hey. And it's not a complete story. Um, then you take something like we got last year from Beetlejuice, which this is continuing the story of an 80s movie that I love and have loved for years, introducing new characters, bringing back old ones, and it keeps the same feel.
You agree? Do you agree? Like it's a case by case basis. It can't be a blanket thing where they all suck or they're all awesome.
Absolutely. I think that's the kind of thing that ends up getting us runs of bad movies, mainly from, I guess, studio executives like, say, Mario Brothers. That movie crushed at the box office a couple years ago, and so now everybody's trying to rush out with these video game adaptations. It's like, oh, we can make money on these now because there was a long run where you really couldn't. Now we're getting back to the slop with Borderlands, Until Dawn,
Dude,
and
Minecraft has made more money than
and
any movie this year. Sorry,
I mean
I
it
couldn't do that. I
has,
couldn't do that one with a
it
straight
has.
face.
But how many times do you miss
Yeah,
to get that one?
we should call it Microtransaction the movie. I think that's what the next gaming movie should be called. All right. Um. Yeah. One place that is not going to be full of microtransactions is Alabama Dental Associates.
So
They
true.
take care of their people and they want to make sure that you have the best in dental health care. They are so proud of not only all the insurances, all the insurance providers that they accept, but also they work with their patients to make sure that cost is never the thing that keeps you from getting those regular cleanings and those regular checkups. Make sure you reach out to Alabama Dental Associates. That's Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan, located on Grants Mill Road. They take care of their patients first and foremost. You're going to know that from the moment you walk in. Friendliest staff in town there at Alabama Dental Associates, whether you have major work that needs to be done or maybe you just need to go ahead and have a dentist on standby, ready to go. That's a good thing. Feel out your dentist, have your dentist feel out you. Make sure it's a good vet there at Alabama Dental Associates. Somehow I always manage to, get trespassing notices there from Alabama Dental Associates. They're my favorite place to go in the entire world. Go ahead and give them a call now. Let them know that you're headed their way at 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com where they look forward to seeing you. Tyler, what you got for us?
Got a little bit of a chat check-in.
Okay.
Jay in the chat says, Back to the Future is one of the best trilogies. Leave it alone. Jason, who we had in here on Friday, says, Spin it off. 88 miles per hour. The series.
Telling you, I should get royalties on this. It's a no-brainer. Peacock. I can see it on Peacock right now.
Yeah, that's exactly where it's going. Exactly where it's going.
Tyler,
And then straight to Tubi after that after
oh,
2 seasons.
Wow.
Tyler. It's mean. It's not going to Tubi. It's going to be a big hit.
No, but Jason's other suggestion, Qbert the movie, definitely would. I would like to see what could be done with Qbert because I did like that game. Let's see. Jay also says Corey Feldman peaked in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles circa 1993. Yeah, I agree. I like him in Ninja Turtles. When we get, I believe, Last Ronin,
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to come out next year, year after next. I'm hoping we get that sort of style because I love the puppetry, but you guys know that. And let's see. That's it.
Okay, cool. Well, I need the chat on this next segment. I need Jason for sure. I need Hunter for sure stepping up. We've got Nick and Jay in there, Smuff. Even though, yeah, we got Smuff. I need you guys activated here, Daniel, because we're going to talk a little episode 3. It is the second highest grossing movie of the weekend. And I went and saw it yesterday. I went and saw episode 3. And the theater I went to has been talked about a lot. It had no air condition.
Mm.
Like they had signs posted. Hey, we don't have AC. Just letting you know. So it's kind of on you if you want to come in here. Well, there were no other showtimes that worked for me yesterday. So I had to, if I was going to watch episode 3 on the big screen, I had to watch it at this time at this place. And I did. And uncomfortable seats, hot auditorium, the bathroom, the smell of the bathroom.
Ew.
Oh yeah, Patton Creek is disgusting. When I was there for Joker, they had signs on the door saying "Beware, like of the smell."
I'm disgusted.
And
You just flat out named the place. I was like tiptoeing around it. You just
we call it the slums every day. And we already had the other theater closed, and then the only other theaters are ones we praise every day. So
it was
um
it was rough.
yeah.
It was rough. but I had a great time. The movie was so much fun to watch.
Did you feel yourself immersed during the Mustafar sequence because of the lack of AC?
I'm not gonna lie, I honestly think the AC popped on during that. Like I was actually going like, once I get to Mustafar, it'll be okay because it's a volcano planet and I'm going to have that 4D experience. And I think they fixed the air like the minute they get there. And I'm like, is it cooler in here or is mine just like psyching myself out? I couldn't tell. But when I walked out, I looked back and the signs were all still there. So maybe I just imagined it in my head. I don't know.
I feel like the AC at the AMC's always come on at the weirdest time.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there for like primetime showings, no AC. Been there for a midnight showing. We got AC. It's on full blast.
Yeah. I was inspired by this cinematic experience and wanted today to do a meltdown countdown, but not typically how we do it. Normally we prepare a list, we give our reasoning, we talk the pros and cons. By the way, are you cold right now, EJ?
Yeah, I am.
You look like the way that a kangaroo would be held captive by the state of
Yeah,
Alabama.
it's kind of like a straight jacket. It's a shawl.
Okay.
Very handy.
All right. Well,
I'm locked in.
okay, I appreciate it. We're going to work through this and we'll get EG to repeat the list back to us in a second. But
Shut up.
I want us to work through. I've highlighted here 7 battles in episode 3. There's a lot of battles in episode 3. If you're a lightsaber battle fan, I don't know if there's a better lightsaber battle movie than episode 3, just based on the participants you get and all that. So I'm going to run through. I'm going to do the 7 battles that stood out to me during episode 3. And I want us, Tyler, to workshop this and rank what we think is the best to the weakest, strongest to the weakest, best to worst. And I want the chat to have a big say in this as well. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just throw out, we're going to go in order of the movie. So I'll throw out a battle and then we'll just talk about the next one and move it either above or below where we currently are. And by the end, we'll have our order. Sound good?
Sounds good.
I'm going to start with this. The battle over Coruscant, which is, not what you have with your siblings in Georgia, which is a battle over croissants. This is a battle over Coruscant.
Okay.
I promise you that's not an insult. It's just meant to be a little fun
Okay.
play on words.
I like a good
You're
good
just gonna
croissant.
break out of that thing and like have these giant muscles and the
So
Rock smashing machine.
run me through this battle of Coruscant.
So this is a battle over Coruscant. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker as they are fighting separatist forces.
Okay. Okay.
And they end up in a massive space battle to open up the film. And it's beautiful.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Like really holds up well this many
It's
years
great.
later.
I want to see it in the theater either tonight or tomorrow so bad.
Tony, this movie came out 20 years ago and it looks incredible on the screen. Like
Good.
at the time, Lucas, he seemed to be so focused on visuals that we lost a lot of the human connection in episodes 1 and 2. Are you waving at me? What is happening right now? You're stuck in it?
Ash texted me that my little tassels were in the way.
Okay. You do weird things. You give me signals that make me think something's wrong.
I know.
Anyway, Anakin and Obi-Wan infiltrate General Grievous's flagship to try and rescue Chancellor Palpatine. Chancellor Palpatine.
I know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I just know his face. He looks kind of weird.
He definitely, he tries to play both sides of the coin. Just a humble senator, when we start things off and Phantom Menace, and then by the time we get to Revenge of the Sith, he is ready to absolutely start wars and just eradicate anybody who stands in his way. But the battle over Coruscant, it looks beautiful. It's where we're going to start as sort of our baseline, and we'll see whether or not our next thing jumps ahead of that, which is Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku. You remember this sequence,
Yes.
Tyler?
Immediately after the battle over Coruscant.
Correct.
Yeah, when they get on the ship.
They get on
Great.
General Grievous's flagship there, and Anakin. There's a situation where Count Dooku, he's fighting both these guys, but he wants to continue to get Obi-Wan out of the picture and fight Anakin one-on-one as much as possible. Because his goal really is for him, Palpatine, and Anakin to be sort of a trio.
Trio.
Yeah. And he does a good job of getting Obi-Wan out of the picture, but the thing he doesn't count on is that Palpatine's going to give the kill order to Anakin for Dooku to get out of the way.
It's the rule of two.
The rule of two. You've got the crossed lightsabers there. You've seen the movie, Tyler. I feel like I feel weird about I don't know if this is hyping you or if
No,
it's
it is, and I need a refresher on some of these because it's been so long.
Dude.
But I remember that scene, of course, and then the shot of Palpatine. Do it. Kill him now.
and he just off goes the head. Whoop. And it rolls.
Tumbles.
And it's like, we hadn't really seen that in Star Wars before.
Man, 5-year-old Tyler hadn't seen that in anything. He
Yeah.
saw it on the big screen, though.
I mean, and the body just, boom, I mean, those are official sound effects.
Yeah, they sound like it.
I should be a Foley artist. That's what I should be. That's what they call the sound effect people.
Where they walk on like eggshells and stuff,
Yeah.
make their noises.
Clock,
Like
clock,
rubbing
clock.
the balloon to make 10 different sound effects for Looney Tunes.
It's a great lightsaber battle, and it picks up from episode 2 where Dooku, I mean, he's kind of a badass, and he holds his own, and he kind of gets away in episode 2, and then episode 3 you get sort of the payoff of them fighting, and Dooku ain't going nowhere this time. And off with his head.
Off with your head.
And it's still impactful. I still think it's a great way to open up the movie because you're like, whoa, major character just bit the dust. So I'm going to put Count Dooku's lightsaber battle over the Battle of Coruscant. I think that the Battle of Coruscant's a good stage setter, but Dooku has to be above that, his death sequence. Do you agree with that?
Ooh, yeah, I agree. They're about even, in my opinion. But these are sort of middle of the pack for what episode 3 has to offer, in my opinion. Jason, total opposite opinion of you, says lame, bottom of the list. Christopher Lee wasn't even on set with Hayden and Ewan McGregor for that duel.
Wow. I mean, I just think that we have two battles that have been thrown out there so far, and the narrative significance of Dooku being, off with his headed needs to be ranked above just the Battle of Coruscant to begin with, Battle over Coruscant. Another thing is this. There's a sequence in the movie, Tyler, you'll see it, where Obi-Wan is incapacitated and some structure gets thrown down on top of him.
Yeah.
And the way the structure lands on him, there's no divots in the structure to where it wouldn't just crush his entire body. And when you watch it on the big screen, that's one thing that stood out to me. It's like, man,
It's
Obi-Wan.
It's like a walkway, isn't it? With railing.
It's like a walkway with railing, but it goes right down on his legs, and you're like, there's no way he doesn't have broken bones with this, the way it lands. It's not like it lands at an angle. It just should cut his legs straight off. But it doesn't. I understand it's a movie, but I just think
he's got all them midichlorians.
Maybe so. There's so much visual detail put into this movie. I just feel like that was just kind of lazy. They just did that. So anyway, check that out when you watch the repeat here. But we're going to put Count Dooku, I believe, slightly ahead of the Battle of Coruscant. Move on to this. Cool. This one's a banger. You ready?
Never been more ready.
Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting General Grievous.
Top of the list.
Top of the list.
Makes mine
Top of
number
the
one,
list.
for sure.
General Grievous has 4 arms. In each one of them, he's got a lightsaber. 2 of them, he decides I'm going to do swirly things, while the other 2 are ready to go with attacks. He looks insanely intimidating. If you're going to go toe-to-toe with somebody in the Star Wars universe, and you're going to fight to the death with lightsabers, I don't want to fight the guy that's got 4 arms and
Agreed.
just looks...
He's spinning them. He's walking towards Obi-Wan.
Huge. He's got a huge size advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, terrifying.
The voice?
Yeah.
Oof.
Still terrifying here, but Kenobi finds a weakness. It's what you have to do in every video game boss battle. You got to figure out oh man, this thing looks intimidating, but what's the one thing I got to do?
Chink in the armor.
Correct. And there was a chink in the armor that led to a little bit of an open heart situation where you see the heart, ba-doom, 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 blaster shot right to the heart.
Dang. Total awesomeness.
General Grievous dies by heartburn in this movie because he gets hit And he's like, oh, I need a tum. He's like, there's some acid reflux happening. He gets hit again. There's more. Okay. And then boom, 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 boom. It's like the scene from Home Alone.
Oh,
Keep the
okay.
change, you filthy animal. It's
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. And it's just he combusts into flames.
Wow.
But anyway, it's a great fight. It goes on for a little bit, and you
Well,
really are like, oh, I don't know what Kenobi's going to do here.
well, it starts off on the chase on the bogas, I believe they're called.
You love those things for some.
I love them.
I was watching those things, hop around yesterday on screen, and I'm like, what? Tyler loves these things. I think
They're
this is the
so
worst looking thing in the movie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man, that hurts.
I've seen it.
I used to have a Lego version of this fight, and I built my own boga.
That's awesome, and I'm proud of you. But I mean, there are kangaroos hopping around in Alabama that look more realistic on video than this.
Man, those screeches just sent a wave of nostalgia
Yeah.
through me when I was recording in the theater the other day.
I had the opposite happen. I walked out of Revenge of the Sith, and I'm walking down this long, hot hallway, and I'm hearing the Irish jig scene from
Oh,
Sinners playing, like where they're all dancing in a circle. And I was the only one in the hall, and I wanted to start just dancing along and stuff. I'm telling you, those vampires, they can sing, and they would lure me right into their trap with their sweet vocal cords.
oh, it looks fun.
Like
That jig.
Irish Sinners vampires, the way they sing right here, Giant of the Peach, slightly above.
Good.
Yeah, we're
Good.
still there.
Y'all got any shanties?
We don't currently.
All right.
So we agree Obi-Wan Kenobi versus General Grievous is going to be at the top of the list right now, right? We agree with that, Tyler?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's where we're at. We move on to this. Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. Palpatine. What do we think about this? Because they go to arrest Palpatine for treason, and he says, I ain't having this. And he does this little lunge. And your eyes right now, the coziness that you have right now, your eyes are starting to turn into Palpatine eyes just a little
What
bit.
does that even mean?
I mean, I can see you turning to the dark side as we speak because Palpatine physically changes form in this fight. Like
Is this the fight where he just starts going no?
yes,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was struggling to remember the fight at first.
yeah,
but
and
yeah.
a lot of people theorize. I'd love to get Jason on this, especially, but like a lot of people theorize that Palpatine throws the fight, so that way Anakin arrives at the perfect time, so he can officially turn Anakin to the dark side at that moment.
Yeah,
But that
'cause, his whole thing was like, look at what the Republic's doing. You need to stick with me. They're not watching out for you. I'm watching out for you.
correct. You need to watch when you rewatch this fight. When you go watch this movie, Tyler, give me your professional opinion on whether or not you think Palpatine throws the fight. Because there's a couple moments where he could end it and he doesn't, and like he gives time for Anakin to get up the stairs and come witness everything, and then he officially puts on sort of like this act of like the Jedi are turning against us, just like I said they would, and Mace Windu is kicked out the window, and that's it. And but he's still around supposedly, and will there be a series? I don't know, but I'd love to know if you guys think that Palpatine threw the fight.
This so far in this order, Grievous fight is number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would say the space battle.
Really?
Yes. So far. I'd have what was the other one you mentioned? Shoot, the Count Dooku fight.
Mhm.
Probably at 3. Mm, it could go 3 or 4. I'm about even with the Dooku fight and Sidious and Mace Windu.
Okay. Well, you have Sidious killing the other Jedi Masters that come to arrest him, as Windu appears to win this fight, but once again, Anakin ends up betraying the Jedi Order, and that leads to Mace Windu's supposed death. But, we would learn later that's not really the case. All right, let's go to this. I think this one maybe is at the top of the list for me. Order 66. The actual initiation of this, the dread, it's a long sequence,
Mhm.
but like you see multiple Jedi that fall, every time I get an Order 66, whenever I go eat somewhere, maybe I'm at Culver's and I get an Order 66, I can't help but think of this sequence that is tragic, but also like enjoyable to rewatch, but also the most horrific thing in Star Wars history, I think. Order 66
Yeah.
with Anakin and the younglings. It doesn't get darker than that in Star Wars, I don't think. Does it?
I don't think you can get darker
I don't
than
think you
that
can get
and keep
darker
it
than that.
Star
And
Wars.
that little kid who's like the best cast person of the entire prequels. Oh, Mr. Anakin, what do we do? You know, I don't know why he sounds like Jar Jar, but
I don't know what you were doing with that.
yeah, I mean that's my interpretation of it in my head. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You look like you were falling over.
No.
We didn't check your blood sugar. Are you okay?
Yeah. I was stretching
How
my
are you
neck.
becoming like more wrapped up in that thing without moving? That's what I want to know. It's like consuming you.
Oh, yeah. I was like stretching my neck. I was kind of at a weird angle.
I thought it was attacking you. I was about to lunge over this and beat that thing to death.
Okay.
Okay. Stay with us, EG. Anyway, EG, big Star Wars fan, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What order number was it again?
66.
That is correct.
Give me
66.
another one. Come on.
Okay, I will. There will be a test afterwards. But Order 66, where you have multiple short battles there where clone troopers turn on the Jedi Order and kill a lot of them. What do you think about Order 66? Worthy of being in the discussion at the top spot?
Top spot? I don't know. You're gonna have to sell me on this more.
I mean, the most impactful moment in Star Wars history, potentially.
I mean, we're talking about good battles, though.
I know. I mean, this is it's a sneak attack.
The defining moment.
But like, when has the Empire or when has the Sith ever been more successful in an attack than they were in Order 66? I mean, they just hit them at all angles, all at once. Yoda,
Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I'm just struggling to think of any scene in that sequence
the scene where
other than Anakin and the younglings. I mean, obviously, I know that one.
they turn on the female Jedi and the camera raises above and there's like a plant that's covering her corpse as it's being like shot continuously. You don't remember that shot? Anyway, I know she has a name. I don't know what it is. I'm sure other Star Wars fans would know, but anyway. All right, Order 66 not high on Tyler's list. How about this one? Yoda versus Darth Sidious. Remember that bad boy of a beast of a battle?
This is the new number 2 on my list. Just under Obi-Wan versus Grievous. But I do love getting to see Yoda just put the moves on. Because I guess this would have been the first real time you get to see him do a lightsaber battle like this.
Yeah. Episode 2, you get to see him fighting Dooku in a way where he's doing flips and turns. And Dennis Miller said he looked like the only guy in a crack house with a lighter. That was Dennis Miller's way of describing that sequence. And I always thought that was funny. But in this one, it's a little bit more like, I'm here to actually win the fight. The second one, it was just more like, let me show you what all I can do. But yeah, in this one, you definitely get some action there. And yeah, I think Jason sent me a funny clip, a family guy clip of like, it starts off not Plagueis, Darth Sidious is at his desk. And like, you just don't know why. You don't know what's happening at the desk like 5 minutes before Yoda walks in to start this fight. But when you watch the movie, you'll see like he's sitting at a desk and he's got his guards there. But like, what's he doing at the desk? Everybody wants to know what's he doing at the desk there. But it's very interesting.
Yes, Stewie and Brian talking about it, and he's like, "What was he doing there? Was he like, oh, I've got to get this paperwork into accounting before 5, or else John is just gonna throw a fit."
Legitimate question, and I think it's very funny. It enhances that scene a lot there. But
yes, that's a good clip.
You know, Darth Sidious really with the win here. It's sort of a stalemate, but Yoda has to retreat. So I'm going to give Sidious the win. And last but not least, this has to be number 1. Has to be, I think, number 1. It's Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar. You think? Has to be number 1?
Yeah, I don't think there's another option for number 1.
The entire prequel series, we were waiting for a moment where we got true human emotion. The entire prequel series, it's very wooden. It's very, let's talk about tax code and let's debate things in my chamber.
Oh,
And let's, it's very much like trade commissions and, like
that's half of Phantom Menace.
it is. It's
It is talk of tariffs and all this. We get enough of that with real news.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it in Star Wars news either.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of policy discussions, a lot of the
Tons.
boring side of politics.
Yes.
Episode 3 decides, you know what? We're going to do the fun, nasty side of politics. And
Yeah, they decided that seeing a coup take place would be more interesting than seeing trade discussions.
correct. And they got that right. And you finally saw human emotion between Obi-Wan and Anakin really pay off. Like, everything built to this moment, and the build was not as enjoyable as the payoff. The payoff, it's so iconic. I mean, there's iconic sequence after iconic sequence, lines, shots. Like, I forgot. I kind of slept on how iconic episode 3 really is. Because when you go back and watch it, I've seen these clipped out and used throughout all of Star Wars. The last half hour of this movie is just a banger. If the entire trilogy had been as consistent as the last half hour of this movie, minus one moment, which I still can't stand, and it is when James Earl Jones enters the mix, it just does not work. No.
Oh yeah. Not a fan.
Where's Padme? It doesn't. I wish they would have used a little less of James Earl Jones in episode 3, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like it's perfect up until that point. And I was just checking to make sure that your eyes were open.
Oh yeah.
And, that's the one thing that I wish they would kind of fix up a little bit there. But episode 3's banger. It's a lot of fun. I hope you get to enjoy it. But at the top of my list, I think I'm going to put Obi-Wan and Anakin. Second on my list, I'm going to have Order 66. Third on my list, I'm going to have probably Obi-Wan versus Grievous. Then I'm going to have Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. I really like that sequence. Then I'm going to have Yoda versus Darth Sidious. And then last, I'm going to have the battle over Coruscant.
All right.
But I want everybody to sort of enjoy episode 3 while it's out there. I know a lot of our audience has already enjoyed it. And I would love to sort of hear what you guys have. I think Smuff has an official list out there as well as Charles.
Yes.
And everybody.
Charles says Obi versus Anakin, space battle at number 2, Yoda versus Palpatine, Obi versus General Grievous, Obi versus Obi and Annie versus Dooku, Order 66 at number 6, and finally at number 7, Mace Windu versus Unc Palpatine. Smuff has Obi versus Anakin. I almost said Anawan. Space battle at number 2. Obi-Wan versus Grievous at number 3. Yoda versus Palpatine at number 4. Order 66 number 5. Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku at number 6. And Mace versus Palpatine at number 7. Jason agrees with Charles's list. Nick has Obi-Wan versus Anakin at number 1. Obi-Wan versus General Grievous at number 2, the space battle at number 3, Order 66 at number 4, Yoda versus Palpatine at number 5, Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku at number 6, and Mace Windu versus Palpatine at number 7. Hunter Bussey has Obi-Wan versus Anakin at number 1, Obi-Wan versus General Grievous at number 2, space battle at number 3, Order 66 at number 4, Yoda versus Palpatine at number 5, Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku at number 6, Mace Windu versus Palpatine at number 7, and Hunter Hall wants to know, what are these words that Tyler is saying? We've been talking Star Wars all day, so if you haven't seen Star Wars, this is definitely an interesting conversation to listen to without any context.
Yeah, for sure. Look, all these words do sound crazy when you have them out of context, for sure. Hunter, I think there's a sentiment here that Mace Windu and Palpatine is last on pretty much everybody's list here. And the space battle, I did not give enough love to, it seems. It seems like everybody's in love with the space battle, for sure.
So good. That is a perfect opening to, I think, all of the Star Wars films.
No, it's very good. I just think that there's better things than that in here. But maybe I have to go back and rewatch it just one more time, see how it sits with me. But I think the unanimous number one for everybody's Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really good. Order 66, I feel like deserves maybe a little bit more love here on the list, but it's still pretty high for most people. But
It is 5 and 6 for a lot of people too.
okay. My voice can get high too. But yeah, I'm going to initiate Order 66 on this show. Actually,
No,
I know that means that we've got to go.
the younglings have to die. Is that what that Route 66 was? Or Route 66?
Route 66
Order
is,
66?
you were so close to landing this plane.
But that was younglings.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, good job, EG. I got a bad feeling about this.
What?
No, that's a line from Star Wars
Oh.
that people say.
Maybe I'll get into it after this
It's
episode.
one
Maybe.
of the isn't it the only line that's been said in every movie?
So yeah. Yeah, I think it started off with Han Solo in the trash compactor,
Mm-hmm.
and in this movie it was said
It
by
was said by Obi-Wan during the space battle.
yeah, it was Obi-Wan during the space battle. So, yeah, that's the one. Okay, that's gonna do it for us. We keep geeking out over episode 3. It's a really, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy watching on the big screen. I thoroughly had a great time. Really, really got lost in it, even minus the no air condition, the bad seats, the bad smells. It was a super fun time. So I recommend, if you get a chance, if maybe you've already seen Sinners and you want to go back to the theater, episode 3 is a great time. It really is. Our audience has been all over it, and they have not led me wrong yesterday, sort of pushing me in this direction. I felt proud representing Meltdonia headed towards the theater. And Tyler, I hope over the next few days you get a chance to see it on the big screen and let us know what your thoughts are, because I'm really high on reliving that 2005 classic for sure. All right, we want to remind you about our title sponsor. That's MyBookie at mybookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. That's mybookie.ag. Use that promo code next round for that deposit bonus. You're going to have a great time there at mybookie.ag. You got the Stanley Cup playoffs going on. You got the NBA playoffs going on. You got all sorts of things happening. You need to go check out. What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
No.
Okay.
You
Okay, gotcha. You have all that happening there at mybookie.ag. And Tyler, we got a bunch of fresh content out here on the channel.
Yes, we sure do, Tim. We've got 2 new trailer reactions out live on the channel now. We've got one for The Smashing Machine starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And we've also got Weapons starring Julia Garner and Josh Brolin. And there goes your remote. EG can't drop anything. She's wrapped up in the straitjacket today, so you're taking over those duties today.
That's true.
10 minutes since I've dropped anything.
The legend continues.
Literally 1 minute.
We dropped multiple trailer reactions. You should check that out on the channel. And before we drop any sort of frame rate, we're going to go and say adios. We'll see you again on Wednesday, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.